So yeah, I woke up in Rexburg, Idaho, warm slough campground, and with that new blanket, it wasn't cold at all, so that was good. So I hit the road. My next spot was going to be up in Fairfield, Montana, well, between Fairfield and Choteau, Freezeout Lake Wildlife Management Area. And actually, Seth had told me, he's like, dude, I don't know about camping in Montana. Like, there was like a blizzard there like a week ago. That was when I was in Flagstaff. But he also told me, he's like, oh, I know Freezeout Lake. I love to go hunting birds there. And what it is essentially is like a ducklands place. So anyway, so en route there, I had been mentioning like snow-capped peaks sort of coming up from Flagstaff, working my way north. But actually coming into this area of this Freezeout Lake, or Choteau, Fairfield, Montana, there was like snow on the side of the roads. Not like continuous snow, like sort of patchy, but I was like, yeah, I don't know about tonight. So I stopped actually in Helena, Montana, the library there, to check the weather and just check everything, make sure my routing was cool, and to message Tim in Calgary, who I'd be there in a couple of days. The forecast was like, yeah, there's a good chance of snowstorms in Montana tonight. So I was like, oh, come on, whatever, right? So anyway, so I get to the campsite and set up my tent. I'm the only one there. And then I take the car and drive back to the town to get some food. And it's like gray skies or whatever. Like, town has nothing. Like, there's nothing there. There's like a restaurant though. So I go in there and it's one of these places like total small town, like Hick, Montana. Right? So they have like this giant moose head like mounted on the wall. Like all these families in like jeans and like total like farmer mode, right? And there's like me with my big hair and probably dirty as hell, skinny as hell from being on the road for so long. And like when the guy came over to serve me, he was probably in his late teens or early 20s, like one of the boys of the city or whatever, I guess, pretty big, strong guy. I think he thought like I might be a problem, because he was like super like friendly, but I could tell he was like dealing with me with like his kitty gloves on. But then as soon as I started talking to him, he was like, oh, this guy's all right. So cool. I think I don't know if I had pasta or a burger there or what I had, but it was all good. And then got out of there, drove back to the campsite, and then it was still light out. So I started walking around the lake, and here's some video, kind of like the Duckland style of that lake. And there's a big loop around there. It's starting to get dark though, and then before it got dark, I saw there was this giant like cloud of smoke coming from a farmer's field right across from what my tent was. And I was like, oh man, that's gonna be horrible. Like either I'm gonna have to move my tent because there's like fire like emergency thing going on or something like that, or it's just gonna be terrible breathing tonight. So I was like, oh, that sucks. But I was walking around the field, but larger concern for me was the next day I was gonna be crossing the border into Canada. And like, I had thought that like my driver's license and my registration and my lack of insurance and all that stuff would not be on record with the U.S. police. But sure enough, in Utah, when I got that speeding ticket, they have it on file. So I was like, man, these guys at the border are going to know that too, and they might not let me in the country. And I'm like, ah. So I was like, what do I do? I'm walking around this lake at night, this like duckland wildlife management area. I'm like, what? It's all dark. I'm like, what are you going to do, man? And I was like, well, in Alberta, you only need one plate. You don't need a front plate. And I was like, well, my information for my expired insurance is on my back plate. So I was like, maybe I'll take my back plate off, put the front plate on the back, and like hope that like, because in Alberta, hopefully they don't notice or something. But I was like, oh god, it's going to be tricky. But I was also like, where am I going to put my plate? And I was like, I could hide it in the car, hide it in the, I was like, geez, where do I put my plate? What if they search the car? And I just like realized like if the plate fits in your laptop, put it in there. If they see a laptop, they'll see a laptop. They're going to open it up. So I did that. I was like, okay. But it was like sketchy, right? I was like, I don't know what's going to happen, right? So I get to the border. Like actually the next day I leave. Everything's fine. Oh no, let's back up. I go to bed. No snow. I was worried about that smoke. I go to bed. I'm all warm in my sleeping bag with that blanket that I bought. Wake up in the morning, warm, yes, because of the blanket. But I'm like, uh-oh, I think there's snow in my tent. So like I open up the tent, and it's not just snow on my tent, it's like snowing, like I'm in snow. I'm like, okay. So it was kind of exciting because I knew it was my last stop camping. And I was just like, let's bust our ass here, our hands are going to freeze, but let's take everything apart really quick, put it away, and let's get on the road. So I did as quick as I could, got in the car, was like, ooh, and then was driving, and then in Choteau I had to get gas, and I needed gas pretty bad. And the machines there, you use your credit card, but if you don't have a valid U.S. postal code, or zip code actually, then you can't do it. You need to go talk to the attendant, but the attendant wasn't there because it was a Sunday. So I was like, I don't have a zip code, I have a postal code, it doesn't work because it's not the same number of digits or whatever as zip codes, postal code from Canada. So I was like, shit. And so this lady pulled up, and I was like, yo, like, you do not have to help me at all. I'm going to make a proposal, and like, you don't even have to listen to me, but just like, if you will, you will. So I said I'd pay her $50 if she would fill up my car, and I figured it'd be less than $50 to fill up the car. And she was like, at first, like, I don't know. And she's like, well, you know, it's a really sad world that I have to be worried about trusting you like this, but let's just do it. So she filled it up. I think it was like $44, $45, something. So she made money, and I gave her the 50, and she was off. So that was cool. So then I was on my way. As I was approaching the border, like Montana beneath the border, wasn't just like snow on the side of the road or snow that had fallen on me. It was like winter, like frozen lakes, like full on winter. So I was like, wow. I thought I could like come from summer in South America to like summer in North America, but that little bubble there, no, that was winter for sure. So I get to the border at Carway, which is in between Bab, Montana and Cardston, Alberta. It's a tiny little border. And the girl at the thing starts asking, like, I'll stay in my car. It's not like a South American border, so I just stay in my car. She asked me some questions for my passport. Give her the answers, but I was a little bit nervous, but whatever. And she said, okay, well, pull your car in over there and then come into the office. So I pulled my car in, and fortunately, like, the front of my car was right up against the wall, so they wouldn't even seen that I was missing a plate. And I go to the office, and these two, like, officers come out. Not the girl, but two, like, dudes. And one guy really starts grilling me. And I'm, like, trying to tell him my story about, like, everything. He's like, well, how did you make enough money to travel this way? Like, what did you do for work? Blah, blah, blah. And he's asking so many questions, right? And I was, like, getting nervous, right? And he's like, why do you think I'm asking you all these questions? I'm like, I don't know, because it's kind of a weird story, and I don't know, that's your job to find out what. He's like, where did you come from? I'm like, South America. He's like, yeah, but where did you ship the car from? I was like, Colombia. He's like, I was like, oh, you think I've got drugs in the car? Well, go search it. And he's like, I'm glad I have your permission to search your car. And I was like, sorry. And he's like, hey, go wait in that room and we'll search it. And so I go wait in this room, and I'm just like, I'm not worried about drugs. I know I don't have any drugs in the car, but I'm like, what if they find that plate? Still my brain's on that. So after about 5-10 minutes they come back, they're like, all right, Mr. Weird Physicist, because I told them I was a physics teacher in Canada. The only thing I couldn't figure out how to put together was the bungee cords in your guitar case. So you have to use your physics to figure that out, but you're good to go. And I was like, thanks guys, sorry that was awkward. He's like, don't worry about it. So I get in the car and I go, I'm good. And now I'm back into Canada. And Canada is like so spread out, like more spread out than the States. I'm just like, holy cow, we have so much space here. So anyway, so I get to Calgary, and I get to Tim's house, and I'm like, got a shower, because I've been camping the whole time. So shower, then we head out to get some food, drive around a bit, and come back, and like, we're basically music dudes from back in the day, so just full on like music nerdery, catching up on what we're into and all that on YouTube. YouTube's super cool now, because you can put it on your TV and be like, check out this video, check out this performance, right? So that was cool. Went to bed, and then the next day, had to make it to Kamloops. And so I went outside in the morning and put the plates back as they were supposed to be, and headed out. And as soon as I went through Banff, actually, so like, that was one thing, man. Of all the traveling I've done, like, I've seen some amazing landscapes. But I have to say that Banff and the Rockies, like in that area, like Jasper, Banff, like that is some impressive stuff. Like, it's not my kind of stuff. It's not my stuff that I love, but it is impressive. It's like world level impressive. So I was coming through there, and I get into BC, and I stop in Golden, which was like the first place to get insurance. Go to the office. Sure enough, their system's down. So I have to roll around Golden for a while, just chilling. Weather was pretty good, so it was okay. Then finally get the insurance, day insurance, no problem, and then head to Kamloops. And I, of course, went through Salmon Arm and Dallas. And going through Dallas, like, my dad used to work at this warehouse, Paper Time Products. So I remember looking at that, and I was like, you know, in this stage of my life, 38 years old, at that point I was, like, goofing around, wandering the world, and my dad was working his ass off in a warehouse, like, 8 hours a day. I was like, this weird kind of thing. I was like, man, I owe him so much, whatever, right? And so anyway, got back home, all good. My parents were super glad to see me. It was awesome to get back. I think I ate some dinner, super skinny at that point, and then took them for a spin in the car, took my dad for a spin in the car just to show him that the car still functioned or whatever. Well, it still had its day insurance. That was pretty much it. So back to Kamloops. That was the 75th destination that I had stayed in since leaving Buenos Aires on January 4th, and this was May 6th when I got home. So more than 4 months on the road, a long time wondering if I could get the car back, and a long trip, but made it home, so that was cool.